Hey there, everyone. That sexy nerd is back again. And boy, I never thought he'd cover this movie, but here we are. He's doing Happy Feet. I loved this movie when it came out. And I don't think it's aged that well, though. But I love it regardless because penguins, animals, it's an animal movie. And it also shows the messed upness, the fucked upness of humankind, and how we'll never be able to save ourselves in the end. It's really depressing, honestly. Like the whole thing was an environmental message, and it shows the world actually getting its shit together and actually helping the environment and actually doing that. We can't do that. We got too many people like Republicans wanting to make this planet worse just so they can make their paychecks even more. And then the people who vote for him are some of them are the same way, and some of them are just racists. So it's unfortunately we'll never be able to really help ourselves, and we're at the mercy of a dying planet, and nobody seems to care. And I think this movie, at least the end of this movie, really showcases that. But nobody cares about that. Nobody just wants to think about it until it's actually happening and they're actually dying. And then they're like, "Why didn't we?" Yeah, but hopefully we can save ourselves. Hopefully we can do that, or the human race is extinct. Everything is extinct. The whole planet is done. But nobody seems to care. It'd be funny if it wasn't so sad. It's just like Game of Thrones, actually. If y'all think about it, what is it? Climate change is like the White Walkers, and nobody seems to give a damn. Even when they have the evidence in front of them, they don't give a damn. But let's on a smaller scale. These penguins are still endangered, still not getting the food that they need, still starving. Nobody seems to care. But it's not their problem, right? They don't even care about the people who live on the street and dying. So, what is the point of these movies at this point, right? God, that was depressing. But anyway, ironically, I love my ex-girlfriend. When I've been seeing her, in college, we had watched this movie together, and she was like, "I thought you said this movie was happy," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is kind of sad if you look at it." So this movie always stuck with me, and obviously there's a great dance sequence in the movie as well, and that factors into the plot, which is even better. Um, like I said, this movie always stuck with me. I always loved the talent. It was always weird too watching it with Brittany Murphy right after she died. You know, Robin Williams. Also watching it because of Robin Williams. He's dead too. He plays two characters in the movie, and it's really a sad movie to watch. Now it just gets more and more depressing with each passing year. What's going to happen next? Are penguins going to be extinct, and then they're just only be able to watch this movie? It's a possibility. It's not the possibility of that is not zero. Anyway, not much more to say about this before I depress the hell out of you. I'm sure it's going to be a little depressing here too. So, but actually, I don't know. Environmental stuff is not lost on Nostalgia Critic. He's like, I don't care. I don't care. And and I'm like, why? Wow. But anyway, please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And let's do this thing, y'all.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember? So you don't have to. With Furiosa coming out this year, I want to look back on another George Miller epic about a loner who traveled across a barren wasteland against countless obstacles. Yeah, I know you know it's this. But Nick, you forgot the same director did both of these.
I knew that. That was a big thing when it came out.
George Miller is one of the most uniquely versatile directors. He certainly has a distinct style, just count how many wide-angle shots there are with high-contrast colors, but his subject matters vary a great deal. One minute he's doing a movie where the devil makes a woman puke up cherries, the next he's making Babe 2. And weirdly, that's the more messed up one. When Happy Feet came out in 2006, it both felt
That's
right
true.
because it was unexpected, but man, the Mad Max guy made this. This is at a time, too, when Penguin movies were all over the place.
Yeah.
So for such a distinct director to go this route, it puzzled many. However, it did still have the impressive size, heavy atmosphere, and stunning visuals that are often associated with his work. So, while it wasn't insanely weird, it was still weird. Regardless, this film turned out to be a big hit and even won the Oscar for Best Animated Film.
Yes, it did.
Not that that means a whole lot, but we're gonna take a look at why. Let's dance on in. Yeah, the main character has a bow tie. I'm not using my A material for this.
To be fair, did anything else come out that would have challenged the animated thing for Brave? Huh? I mean, come on. It's like giving Disney a consolation prize. You know, special privileges are given to the rich and white. Sorry, not sorry.
Let's take a look at Happy Feet. We open on...
You don't have to be beautiful.
Okay, I had a hard enough time admitting I had a crush on her. Don't make me like penguins now. It turns
It's
out this is...
pretty
And when I
murky.
say a hard enough time, I didn't mean... forget it. It turns out
Yeah,
this is a
okay.
mating ritual for penguins. Dancing and singing until they find their
Nicole
right
Kidman.
dancing partner.
I'm feeling so lonely.
I could die.
I give the film credit, it establishes right away what you're in for. Dancing and singing penguins is nothing new, but having them look so realistic and singing a jukebox musical instead of original songs does give the impression you're in for something not entirely different, but not really the same either. It's like the film wants to take its time to let you know that it knows how weird it is.
Ain't no particular song I'm more compatible with.
Memphis and Norma Jean, voiced by Hugh Jackman and Nicole Kidman,
Yeah.
bizarrely a less cartoony movie than the other one they started. And we get a narration by Robin Williams.
His mom and dad met in the usual way. The song became love.
And thank God Memphis's voice was still in his prime, because later...
Your face is not a face I would forget.
But it's okay, he has a lot of passes. They have themselves a baby, and the women go fishing while the men stay with the eggs.
Each must take his turn against the icy blast if we are to survive the endless night.
Okay,
For all my fans that are casual geographic fans, my animal fans out there, y'all know. And for those who don't know crap about animals, male penguins always take the egg while the female goes out and gets fat for months and months on end. And it's just as hard as you think.
sometimes Miller's Mad Max shines through.
Ha.
The film also does a good job letting you know what penguins have to go through to survive. I mean, if they didn't learn how to tap dance, they wouldn't have landed so many film roles in the 60s.
Give praise to the great Gwyn, who put songs in our hearts and fish in our bellies.
I don't know, just... Was this the vibe you were getting when you saw the advertisements for this? As much as I hated the influx of penguin movies we got for a while, I think this one does benefit from having a directing team that didn't seem to care about the fad and was more like, you know, sometimes they tap dance and sometimes it's Dune. We don't care if you care, we're just venting out our weirdness.
Yeah.
Time passes and the eggs start to hatch, giving birth to Mumble.
What you doing with your feet?
I'm happy.
I wouldn't do that around folks, son. Well, it just ain't penguin, okay?
We have a very strict you footloose, you footloose.
Oh.
The wives return and Mumble is so excited he gets separated from his father. This is a very sluggish reworking of the Stampede scene from Lion King, but I guess it's okay.
It is not meant to be that.
Mommy,
They eventually all meet up and are finally a family.
I got something for you.
I love the way she does that.
Ironic in a film called Happy Feet, that's the weird thing that gets somebody off. The kids are sent to school to be taught how to perfect their love song, the music that defines who they are.
Don't push me, cause I am close to the edge.
Now we're at the part of Happy Feet most people thought this movie would be.
Yes, I like that one. I could really get jiggy with that.
Oh,
For
God.
as timeless as most of this movie is, every once in a while likes to advertise how 1997 it is. Despite it coming out in 2006.
10 years later.
It turns out Mumble has no singing voice, though, instantly making him an outcast.
A penguin without a heart song is hardly a penguin at all.
Oh,
Unless we're being infiltrated by... the Puffins.
We ain't doing nothing.
They send him.
Yo, I've always had a thing with puffins. I was always arguing with my mother when I was a little kid. I'm like, those are penguins. And she's like, no, they're not. They're not even, they're kind of related to penguins, but not really. I'm like, those are penguins. And no, they're not penguins at all. I had a weird childhood. I always spent all my time at the Bronx Zoo or an aquarium or two. It was awesome.
To an aggressive teacher to try and find his song, but all he wants to do is dance. It doesn't help either that this makes him stand out to the good feathers here.
Fine, boys. That's me. Need the flipperboard and the fish.
Sure, these other good feathers.
Hey, who told Pesto we could bring guns? When asked what the tag on his leg is, the bird hilariously claims it was an alien abduction.
They probe me. They tie me up. They strap me down. They take this pointy thing and they stick it into me.
You sure it's not just the guy who liked chickens from Fallout? He manages to escape, but he still feels alone and unwanted as he grows up into Elijah Wood, whose big cartoony eyes still aren't as big or cartoony as the actors. He requests to swim with the other graduates, despite not graduating with a love song.
You have it.
Thank you, Mumble, but it's yours.
I want
Brittany
you to
Murphy.
have it.
Mumble seems to hit it off with Gloria, played by Brittany Murphy, but it looks like some birds take his fishy gifts.
Same one. Just the triple bites.
Ha! And they say penguins can't fly. Oh my god, I can't fly!
Mumble?
Take the f***ing fish. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, like Galaxy Quest, there's an R-rated version of this movie.
I always wanted to just go and say, take the f***ing fish, you unappreciative woman. But then, real life just sets in. Boy, this movie's so sad when you really think about it. Because, God, I'm going to say something. Most women don't care what you get them. They don't. They're like, oh, yeah, and they throw it out later. It's ridiculous.
Mumble's awful voice, though, seems to get him kicked out of the group, once again leaving him isolated. Really isolated. He gets chased by a seal, but is quickly befriended by another group of penguins led by Ramon, voiced by Robin Williams. And I'm just gonna take a wild guess when the rest of the actors playing these penguins are these guys, and then
Nice.
Robin Williams is playing one named Ramon. Something's gonna stand out a bit.
Without
Yeah.
us, the chicken's got no bone. What, you got something better to do? Let me tell something to you. You're gonna need a pebble.
And yeah, I know technically they're just penguins, they don't have any race or anything, but
But,
by that argument, that's just a cat and that's just a crow. Something still seems off.
yeah.
To be fair, I have seen far worse. Williams is still throwing his all into this role, and nothing seems mean or vindictive. It's just something that probably wouldn't fly today. That's why it makes sense it's done with penguins. Jokes! It also doesn't help that they're a little annoying.
I like them. Screw you.
You like it.
They're
You want
annoying.
it. I got it. You have
Look at
it.
the feet,
You
baby.
miss it.
Look at the
You
feet,
miss
huh?
it.
That's not gonna be good for me.
They use dancing as their love song, though, so Mumble thinks he might fit it. While sliding down mountain, though, they accidentally shook loose some construction equipment, which fascinates Mumble. They say if he wants answers, he should see a guru named Lovelace, also played by Williams, doing, I think, Barry White?
Now you're about to meet the one and only Lovelace in the flesh.
Maybe Barry literally white? I don't know. He's a guru because he has plastic six-pack rings around his neck, which Mumble thinks might have been from the same aliens he heard about before. Lovelace doesn't answer his question, though, and says it's time to start mating season.
I will retire.
It's usually how it is.
A perpetual indulgence. Okay, ladies, who's first?
Christ, this penguin's more horny than the Batman Returns penguin.
Just the pussy I've been looking for.
Why are there so many Batman callbacks?
I'm a hungry individual. I want to grow. I want to learn.
I came across the Google Career Certificate.
Mumble tells the others about Gloria and the ritual of their love song, so they come up with a plan to dub his voice.
the best part of the movie.
non señor.
And this is you.
Con lágrimas.
What do you know?
At least you could have made it fitting and sung a Milli Vanilli song. Mumble tries combining her voice with his dancing, and moments like this are where the music works best.
Yes.
It's
the best part of the movie.
Stares you in the face and says, baby,
They
It
just
don't work.
sing a popular song, it's merely that, just them singing a popular song. But when they combine it with something different, like a unique sound or orchestration or idea, that's when I feel like the film really comes alive. The music transforms the scene because the scene transforms the music. Moments like this help the film stand out and not just be what, let's be honest, would otherwise be a direct-to-video movie.
Yo soy Raúl, pingüino más cool, latino por supuesto 100% español.
But yeah, it can kind of go back to that vibe too.
Shut up!
Like, it's not awful, it's just every kid's movie you've seen now. It'd be like if The Dark Knight suddenly became Black Adam. Like, it's alright, but you were legit really good for a chunk of time there. But I will admit, it's kind of worth it just for this one scene where the group imitates every dance move that he does. I don't care what anyone says, that was cool. But the elders, led by Noah, played by Hugo Weaving, find this mouse.
I remember everybody in the theater got up and started dancing when I saw that movie. It was crazy. We're all crazy, but man, it was such a great thing to see. I don't know, it was crazy for a second, you know. I can't explain it, but like most of the people were dancing in the theater, and it was it really was a sight to behold.
But the elders, led by Noah, played by Hugo Weaving, find this most unorthodox and think this kind of behavior is causing the food shortage.
She giveth, and he can taketh away.
Wait a minute, happy feet can't cause a famine.
It can produce a bomb, but not a famine.
Yeah,
even his father thinks he's causing harm and tells him to stop.
Please, son.
It's been one movie. That was
do
it.
this. It ain't so hard.
Don't ask me to change, Pa. Because I can't.
I'm always going to be the creepy smiling guy from the memes, and I accept that. So do I, for that matter. He's capped now, but he's determined to discover for himself what's getting rid of most of the fish. Gloria, however, follows him on his journey.
Oh, come on. As if you're not totally thrilled that I'm here.
I can tell by your third flipper. Why do you think that penguin is so strategically placed?
You stubborn, hippity-hoppity fool!
In one of the dumber scenes in the movie, he pretends he doesn't like her, so she'll turn back and not endanger her life. Don't like the women go hunting in this? I'm not sure it really adds up. Also,
okay. First of all, you need to learn something about penguins. The way it works is that the females go off first. Because, you know, ladies first, and the guys are really regretting that by the end of the winter. So the males stay by and just take care of the eggs until they grow up. And throwing up their stomach lining, by the way. They're throwing up stomach lining so they can feed their babies. And, you know, the woman usually takes forever because she's getting fat. And then they'll come waddle back, take the egg, and the male, half dead, has to make a 1,000-mile journey back to open ocean so he can feed. Probably, most likely dying in the process. So when you say that females are just the ones that provide for their babies, gotta look at some certain animals, not just seahorses. But anyway, the point is, females, they alternate. So no, they both have the capability to go out and eat fish. Idiot.
Literally the first thing this character does is almost die, and that's all he does throughout the entire movie.
Pretty much.
Endanger her life? She'd be saving your life, dumbass! And no big surprise, sometimes Williams can be pretty damn funny.
I can do this. I got to trick myself. Boy, look at that. What?
Sometimes I hate how something so stupid can make me laugh, but it's a big surprise. Sometimes Williams can be pretty damn funny. Something so
I got to trick myself. Boy, look at that. What?
Sometimes I hate how something so stupid can make me laugh, but it still makes me laugh. They approach two elephant seals, one of them voiced by Steve Irwin.
Okay, first of all, you don't know how the food habits or how they feed their children. You don't know that, but you know those are elephant seals. Really? I mean, I guess you could tell, but still. If somebody didn't know anything about animals and looked at that, they'd be like, what the fuck is that? It's like a big-ass pig seal.
Got your uppers, son. Look at you. Waste every living thing in their path.
Okay, I knew he could act badass. I didn't know he could sound badass.
Well?
And they're encouraged to venture into the unknown to find the aliens.
That's such a great shot.
Christ, this film can be randomly beautiful. They encounter the human world, but are cornered by killer whales.
But like, in as a response to that, that's how it looks like in Antarctica. That's exactly how it looks in Antarctica. So it's not that it's random. I mean, fine, it's just a shot of the thing, but you know, you'd be seeing that in the actual place if you were in Antarctica. I mean, if you would see it, not survive it.
Oh, what? No Jackson song here? So the good news is... The bad news is... He spat out, though, and Mumble decides to head out alone to find the humans.
Hey! It's me, Lovelace!
I gotta clarify, because there are two of me!
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna be telling your story, Happy Feet, long after you dead and gone.
Just, again, the shorter version. He finds a fishing ship and follows it, even long after it disappeared from his sight.
He ventured further than any of us had gone before, beyond all hope of return.
Not gonna lie, a part of me almost thought it would end there. I don't even know if it'd be that great an ending, but I'd give it an extra star and have the quote be, dude, that was the most artistically pleasing way to piss off an audience I've ever seen.
Nostalgia. How?
He eventually washes up on a beach where he's picked up by a car and placed in a zoo.
Oh, so
When he
creepy.
finally saw aliens up close, they were just as the skua had described.
So, I don't know if this is a personal thing or if a lot of people think this, but I really think it's distracting when a CG movie puts in real people. Sometimes it can work. In Lego Movie, it's all a kid's fantasy, so it makes sense to see a real kid there. But here, the penguins look real-ish, but they're still clearly animated.
Okay.
Like, if they want to do a Final Fantasy thing, I could get behind that, but having real people in a CG movie is like having that neon sock puppet in Lost in Space. The two styles very obviously don't go.
Well, to be fair, I think they would have had to do all the people, and they were trying to make, I feel like they were trying to make a point that people really need to do this, and it's obviously lost in Nostalgia Critic because he just pushes out environmental nonsense. That's the only way me and him differentiate. He doesn't give a shit about the environment. I actually give a damn. I've cared about it ever since I was a kid. Whew. And I'm like, Doug, man, care more about the planet that you live on.
What is this place? You're in heaven, Dave.
So
A
creepy.
lot of penguins think they're in heaven, which, considering their circumstances, I can see why they would think that.
I guess,
But Mumble knows he's trapped and starts to lose his mind waiting there too long.
Ma!
Also would have been a great part to end it, and that one I would totally get behind.
Ugh.
The kid tells an adult, and soon everyone is blown away by his move bustin'. As you probably put together, this gets a lot of attention, and the humans return him to his habitat to see if there's others. What to do? Dance! I do really dig this climax where the elders are singing while the younger people dance. They offset each other quite beautifully.
Yes, yes! Call on the wisdoms! Let the world tremble!
Most unorthodox! Even Mumble and his father seem to make amends as people come over the mountain to see the amazing Happy Feet before them.
You see, first there was just one, now there's thousands of them.
Are they trying to tell us something?
They're trying to say merchandising! The world argues and bickers until they agree they shouldn't fish there anymore and they should preserve these amazing creatures.
Right!
And remember why I said some of those random moments would be a weird place to stop? Well, the place it does stop does seem rather random. Yeah, that's kind of the whole movie, isn't it? Amazing moment, and then, good enough. Really can't sum it up better than that. It's such a strange movie, both for how conventional it is and for how unconventional it is. When it's a straight-up family film, it's decent, I guess. You know, like, kids would like it fine, and parents I don't think would be that annoyed by it. But when it wants to be a surreal, atmospheric epic, it not only pulls it off, but it pulls it off on its own terms. It's just not done throughout the majority of it. nice scenes in the movie I adore, but it's not enough to get me to adore the entire film. But at the same time, I didn't even think that was a possibility. This movie tries bizarrely harder than it needs to in so many areas. So when it just does what's expected of it, it's not really a letdown, it's just, in a weird way, kinda jarring. I guess the film did want to make money and entertain families, so I can't be too hard on it for going the more traditional route most of the time. It's just I, like many, didn't even know there was another option with the more surreal stuff. I guess you can call it okay with amazingly done moments, elevating it to above average, I guess? It's a hard film to put in a box, but like I've mentioned before, sometimes I prefer those films. They may not be perfect, but they certainly dance to a unique beat. I'm a nostalgia critic, guy, remember? So you don't have to.
Doug's lack of knowledge of animals never ceases to astound me. Like, you wouldn't believe how pissed off I was when he referred to Sabor from Tarzan as a cheetah. Like, I know a lot of you got on for that, and thank you, but wow, that still really pissed me off. He, like, knows nothing about animals, and yet he's got 2 cats. Doug, just pick up a book. Why is it so hard? Anyway, woo. I love that. I love that, and I love that movie. I just watched it recently too, and it's still pretty good. But like, he is right about certain things that it's not perfect. It's not. I wish it was much better, but I don't know how you could have made it better. You know, I needed to be more impactful, and it was trying to do that, but it didn't do it amazingly well. I feel like if the sequel was good, if the sequel somehow managed to be good, then maybe things would have worked better. They could have said like, hey, they're still not doing whatever. I mean, a more logical step would have been politicians on certain sides. Maybe an orange wannabe dictator wants to come in and say, hey, I want to preserve the fishes for us. Fuck the penguins and whatever. And, you know, like have some asshole come out and be an evil politician. I don't know. They needed to make something similar, but what do? You make a much smaller stakes movie. If anything, they should have just released it to DVD, right? But they had Pink on it and everybody wanted to come in. But they're not saying anything. The sequel... Yeah, you should really do the sequel and how much of a nothing movie it is. And it's a nothing burger. And it's weird, right? I don't know. But let me know in the comments what you thought of this movie. And please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content. And subscribe if you think I deserve it. And I'll see you all in the next episode.